I was sitting in my car with trembling hands staring at my phone as the 20th panicked voice message from Tyler played through my speakers. His voice was completely different now, shaky and desperate. "Don't do this. Please answer me." Just 48 hours ago, this same man had kissed his ex-girlfriend right in front of me while his friends filmed and chanted that I deserved it. He had bragged to his group chat about putting me in my place, convinced I would come crawling back like always. But he had no idea what was coming for him. Before I tell you how I destroyed the man who humiliated me in front of his friends, drop a comment letting me know where you are watching from and hit that like button if you have ever been disrespected by someone who thought you would just take it. Subscribe, because what I did next will show you exactly how to make a cheater regret ever messing with you. Let me start from the beginning so you understand exactly how I got to this breaking point. My name is Camille, and at 24, I thought I had my life figured out. I work as a software engineer at a tech startup in Austin, making good money and living independently in my own apartment downtown. I have always been more of an introvert, preferring small gatherings to big parties, but I am loyal to the people I care about. I met Tyler Rodriguez 2 years ago on a dating app. He was 26, worked in marketing, and had this magnetic personality that drew everyone to him. Where I was quiet and thoughtful, he was the life of every party. At first, his confidence was attractive. He knew how to make me laugh, and I loved how he could light up any room he entered. I thought his outgoing nature would help balance my more reserved personality. The first few months were amazing. Tyler introduced me to his friend group, Jake, Marcus, and Derek. They were typical guys in their mid-20s who treated dating like a competition and relationships like temporary entertainment. I never felt truly welcome in the group, but I figured that was normal since I was the only girlfriend who stuck around longer than a few months. The red flags started appearing about 6 months into our relationship. Tyler would flirt openly with other women at parties, touching their arms during conversation and laughing just a little too loudly at their jokes. When I mentioned feeling uncomfortable, he would dismiss my concerns completely. "You are being insecure," he would say with that charming smile. "I am just being friendly. This is how normal people socialize." Gradually, Tyler began reshaping my understanding of what was acceptable in a relationship. He convinced me that my discomfort with his flirting was evidence of my own jealousy and insecurity. He started calling my concerns controlling behavior and would share stories with his friends about how I was becoming clingy. The manipulation was so subtle that I started questioning my own instincts. Tyler had a way of making me feel like I was the problem, like my expectations were unreasonable. He convinced me to cut contact with some of my male friends, claiming their presence made him uncomfortable. But somehow his female friendships were perfectly innocent. Last month, the situation escalated dramatically. We were at a house party, and I watched Tyler give his phone number to a blonde woman at the bar. When I approached him privately afterward, he exploded with an anger I had never seen before. "This is exactly what I am talking about," he shouted loud enough for his friends to hear. "You are obsessed with controlling me. I cannot even have a normal conversation without you acting like a psycho girlfriend." His friends Jake, Marcus, and Derek immediately rallied around him, nodding in agreement and making comments about how I needed to chill out and let him live his life. That night marked the beginning of Tyler's campaign to paint me as the unstable, obsessive girlfriend to anyone who would listen. Over the following weeks, I noticed his friends treating me differently. They would exchange glances when Tyler talked about our relationship, and conversations would stop when I entered rooms. I later learned that Tyler had been telling them stories about my controlling behavior and how he was considering ending things because I was too much drama. The isolation was devastating. Tyler had gradually separated me from my own support system while poisoning his friends against me. I felt trapped in a relationship where my partner was actively working to make me look crazy while presenting himself as the patient, long-suffering boyfriend dealing with an irrational woman. The breaking point came at Marcus's house party 3 nights ago. I had been reluctant to attend, knowing how these gatherings usually went, but Tyler insisted I come along to prove that I trusted him. I spent extra time getting ready, hoping we could finally have a good evening together without drama. The moment we walked through the door, Tyler abandoned me to join his friends at the bar. I watched him immediately gravitate toward a group of women, turning on that charming personality that had first attracted me to him. Within minutes, he was touching their arms during conversation, leaning in close when they spoke, and laughing loudly at everything they said. I tried to join conversations throughout the evening, but Tyler would subtly exclude me, directing his attention away whenever I approached. His friends followed his lead, making me feel invisible in my own boyfriend's social circle. After watching him openly flirt for over an hour, I approached Tyler calmly. "Can we talk privately for a minute?" Tyler, clearly drunk and enjoying his audience, saw this as his moment to perform. "See what I mean, guys?" he announced loudly, gesturing toward me. "She cannot let me have any fun. This is exactly the controlling behavior I was telling you about." His friends immediately began laughing and chanting, "Psycho girlfriend, psycho girlfriend." The humiliation was instant and overwhelming, but it was about to get much worse. That was when Tyler's ex-girlfriend Sarah walked through the front door. I had never met her, but I recognized her from photos Tyler still kept on his social media. She was everything I was not loud, outgoing, and completely comfortable being the center of attention. Tyler's entire demeanor changed the moment he saw her. He left me standing alone and walked directly over to Sarah, wrapping her in an embrace that lasted far too long for ex-partners. Jake pulled out his phone and started filming, grinning as he said, "This is gonna be hilarious. What happened next will be burned into my memory forever." Tyler grabbed Sarah and kissed her passionately right there in the middle of the party. His friends erupted in cheers and began chanting, "She deserved it! She deserved it!" Derek filmed the entire scene while laughing hysterically, promising to post it on social media immediately. When Tyler finally pulled away from the kiss, he looked directly at me with a satisfied smirk. "This is what happens when you try to control me," he announced to the entire party. The humiliation was complete. I stood there with tears streaming down my face, while an entire room of people laughed at my pain. I grabbed my purse and ran toward the exit, hearing Marcus shout after me, "Do not come back unless you learn how to be a cool girlfriend." The assault continued online. Within an hour of leaving the party, Tyler began posting Instagram stories showing him grinding on random women. The captions were designed to maximize my humiliation. "Freedom feels good," and "This is what happens when you try to control me." He tagged multiple people, ensuring that our mutual acquaintances would see his celebration of hurting me. But Tyler was not finished. At 3 o'clock in the morning, he showed up at my apartment, completely wasted, pounding on my door and screaming at the top of his lungs. "You made me look like an asshole by leaving," he yelled. "You are a psycho girlfriend, and everyone knows it now." My neighbors began complaining about the noise, threatening to call the police if he did not leave immediately. Before finally stumbling away, Tyler delivered his final blow. "Every guy cheats. At least I did it to your face. You should be grateful for my honesty." The next morning, my friend Emma sent me screenshots that made my blood run cold. She had a mutual friend in Tyler's group chat and had been forwarding me their messages for weeks. The latest conversation showed Tyler bragging about his performance at the party. "I put that crazy bitch in her place tonight," he had written. "Did you see her face when I kissed Sarah Priceless Watch? She will come crawling back like always. They always do." His friends encouraged him to humiliate me further, suggesting ways to teach me who is boss and celebrating the videos they had taken. Marcus wrote, "She deserves everything she gets for being clingy. Maybe now she will learn to stay in her lane." Reading those messages was the moment everything changed for me. The hurt transformed into something much more powerful: determination. Tyler had made a critical mistake by assuming I would just take his abuse and come back for more. He had no idea who he was really dealing with. Instead of crying myself to sleep that night, I spent hours researching everything I could find about Tyler's life outside our relationship. I had never paid much attention to his family dynamics or work situation, but now I realized these could be valuable pressure points. The first thing I discovered was that Tyler had been lying to his traditional Catholic parents about the nature of our relationship. During our 2 years together, I had spoken with his mother, Mrs. Catherine Rodriguez, numerous times on the phone. Tyler had told her that I was his serious girlfriend and that we were planning to get married eventually. His parents loved me based on our conversations and were excited to finally meet me in person. This gave me an idea that would prove to be devastating for Tyler's carefully constructed image. I spent the morning gathering evidence. I took screenshots of every social media post Tyler had made about the party, including the videos of him grinding on random women. I downloaded the footage his friends had posted showing him kissing Sarah while they cheered. I saved every screenshot Emma had sent me from the group chat, documenting not just the recent bragging, but weeks of Tyler talking about other women he wanted to pursue. Then I made the call that would change everything. "Hi, Mrs. Rodriguez, this is Camille," I said when Tyler's mother answered the phone. "I need to show you something important about Tyler." "Oh, Camille, dear," she responded warmly. "How wonderful to hear from you. Tyler talks about you constantly. When are you two finally going to visit us?" My heart broke a little, knowing how sweet she was and how devastated she was about to be. "Mrs. Rodriguez, I am calling because I think you should know what Tyler has really been doing. I am going to send you some videos and screenshots, and I want you to know that I am not doing this to hurt you, but because you deserve to know the truth about your son." I sent everything: the videos of Tyler kissing Sarah, the footage of him grinding on random women, and most damaging of all, the group chat screenshots showing him calling me derogatory names and bragging about cheating. Mrs. Rodriguez called me back within an hour, her voice shaking with anger and disappointment. "This is not the boy I raised," she said through tears. "Thank you for telling me the truth, Camille. I am so sorry he treated you this way." But I was just getting started. My next target was Tyler's professional life. During our relationship, he had bragged about his marketing company's strict social media policies. Employees representing the company could be terminated for any online behavior deemed detrimental to the company's image. I created an anonymous email account and sent Tyler's party videos directly to the Human Resources Department. The evidence showed him engaged in inappropriate behavior, while his LinkedIn profile clearly identified him as a company employee. The videos also captured him making disparaging comments about women, which would be particularly damaging at a company that prided itself on inclusivity. Then I decided to reach out to Sarah, the ex-girlfriend Tyler had used to humiliate me. I found her Instagram account and sent her a direct message that would prove to be the most effective part of my strategy. "Hi, Sarah. I am Camille, Tyler's girlfriend. I wanted you to know what he said about you after your kiss at the party." I included screenshots of the group chat where Tyler called Sarah desperate and easy, laughing about how simple it was to manipulate her into helping him hurt me. Sarah was furious. "He used me to hurt you and then talked trash about me to his friends," she replied immediately. "That pig, I had no idea you were his girlfriend. He told me you two had broken up weeks ago." This revelation gave Sarah the motivation she needed to join my cause. As Tyler's ex-girlfriend, she had access to a much larger social circle than I did, including many of Tyler's coworkers and mutual friends I had never met. Sarah posted a comprehensive Instagram story that exposed Tyler's manipulation tactics with receipts. She included the group chat screenshots, videos from the party, and her own testimony about his pattern of using women to hurt other women. She tagged every mutual connection she had, ensuring maximum visibility across multiple social networks. The response was immediate and devastating. Tyler's female coworkers began commenting with their own stories about his inappropriate behavior at company events. Apparently, he had been hitting on married women and making uncomfortable advances that they had been too professional to report until now. While Tyler's professional and social reputation crumbled, I made sure to hit him where it would hurt financially as well. I changed the passwords on every streaming account he had been using: Netflix, Spotify, Amazon Prime, and Hulu. I canceled our shared gym membership that I had been paying for and removed him from my phone plan, which had been saving him nearly $200 every month. The panic in Tyler's voice messages began around noon the next day. The first few were angry threats. "You crazy bitch, how dare you contact my family?" But as the consequences multiplied, his tone changed dramatically. "Please, can we talk? I made a mistake," he pleaded in message 7. By message 15, he was begging, "My job is in jeopardy. Please call me back." The final 5 messages were pure desperation. "Don't do this. Please answer me." His entire support system was crumbling in real time, and there was nothing he could do to stop it. The aftermath exceeded even my wildest expectations. Within 72 hours of my revenge plan, Tyler's entire life had imploded in ways he never could have imagined. His marketing company terminated his employment for violating their conduct policy. The Human Resources Department cited the social media posts as evidence of behavior incompatible with company values, particularly given their client base of professional women. Tyler's bragging about emotional abuse and cheating reflected poorly on the company's commitment to workplace respect. Mrs. Rodriguez called me to update me on the family consequences. She and Tyler's father had cut off all financial support until he could prove he can treat women with respect. They were horrified by the group chat messages and demanded that Tyler attend therapy before they would consider speaking to him again. The social media exposure had reached further than any of us anticipated. Sarah's Instagram story was shared hundreds of times, reaching women throughout Tyler's extended social and professional network. Multiple ex-girlfriends came forward with their own stories of similar treatment, creating a comprehensive picture of Tyler's pattern of emotional abuse. Tyler attempted several desperate reconciliation efforts. He showed up at my workplace with flowers and a tearful apology, but security escorted him out after I requested no contact. He sent a handwritten letter through a mutual friend begging for one chance to explain, but I returned it unopened. When direct contact failed, he created fake social media accounts to try reaching me, but I blocked each one immediately. The most satisfying part was watching his friend group completely disband. Jake, Marcus, and Derek found themselves associated with someone who had become a social pariah, and their own reputations began suffering by association. Several women in their social circle refused to attend events where Tyler's friends were present, effectively forcing them to choose between maintaining their friendship with Tyler or preserving their social standing. Marcus and Jake eventually reached out to apologize for their behavior at the party. They admitted they had been uncomfortable with Tyler's treatment of women, but had been too cowardly to speak up. Derek never apologized, but he did quietly distance himself from the group to protect his own reputation. The community response was overwhelmingly supportive. Women throughout our social circle thanked me for exposing Tyler's behavior, sharing stories of their own experiences with similar men. A local women's support group invited me to speak about recognizing emotional abuse, and I discovered that my experience resonated with many others who had been manipulated by charming narcissists. 6 months after the party incident, I received updates about Tyler's continued struggles. He had been unable to find another marketing position due to his damaged reputation in the industry. Professional references were reluctant to recommend someone associated with a viral social media scandal. He eventually moved back in with his parents and was required to attend weekly therapy sessions as a condition of their continued support. During this time, I focused intensely on my own healing and growth. Therapy helped me recognize the gradual erosion of my self-worth that had occurred during our relationship. I learned to identify the manipulation tactics Tyler had used and developed strategies for maintaining healthy boundaries in future relationships. My career flourished as I channeled my energy into professional development. The confidence I gained from successfully standing up to Tyler translated into stronger leadership skills at work. I earned a promotion to senior software engineer and gained a reputation for mentoring younger women in the tech industry about workplace respect and professional boundaries. 1 year later, I started dating someone new who demonstrated respect for my boundaries from the very first conversation. When I shared my story about Tyler, my new boyfriend was horrified by the treatment I had endured and proud of how I had handled the situation. The contrast showed me what healthy relationship dynamics actually looked like. The most unexpected outcome was discovering my passion for helping other women recognize and escape emotional abuse. I started a blog documenting my experience and providing resources for women dealing with similar manipulation. The response was overwhelming, with hundreds of women sharing their own stories and supporting each other through difficult situations. 2 years after the party, Tyler made one final attempt at contact through LinkedIn, claiming he had changed completely and wanted to make amends for his past behavior. I simply blocked him without responding, realizing I had no interest in his redemption journey. My healing was complete, and his presence in my life served no positive purpose. The experience taught me invaluable lessons about self-worth and the importance of protecting both yourself and others from toxic behavior. I learned that demanding respect is not controlling behavior, and that public humiliation says far more about the perpetrator than the victim. Most importantly, I discovered that sometimes the most powerful response to cruelty is simply refusing to accept it and showing the world exactly who someone really is. Today, I am successful in my career, happy in a healthy relationship, and actively involved in supporting other women through similar challenges. My family gained new respect for my strength, and I became an example in our extended family of standing up for yourself with dignity and purpose. Tyler's attempt to humiliate me ultimately became the catalyst for my personal growth and empowerment. His actions revealed his true character, not just to me, but to everyone in our community, while my response demonstrated the strength he had tried so hard to diminish. What would you have done if someone publicly humiliated you and then bragged about it to their friends? Have you ever had to choose between accepting disrespect and standing up for yourself in a way that might change everything? Share your story in the comments below and hit that like button if this reminded you that you never have to tolerate being treated badly by someone who claims to love you. Subscribe for more stories about recognizing red flags and finding the courage to protect yourself from toxic people. Please share this video with anyone who needs to hear that their worth is not determined by how much abuse they are willing to accept from others. Remember, you teach people how to treat you by what you are willing to tolerate, and sometimes the most loving thing you can do for yourself is refuse to be someone's punching bag. Thank you for listening to my story, and I hope it gives you the strength to value yourself enough to walk away from anyone who does not treat you with the respect you deserve.